Is anyone here? Can anyone see this? Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining me on this evening. I don't know what the hell happened. I guess I got cut off, but I'm back now, and everyone's slowly figuring it out. Hello, my apologies. YouTube is weird. I'm weird. Sean says it's working. Thank you, Sean. That's so sweet of you. Simon says I can see you. And Simon, I can see you too through the magic of television. Ty says hi. And hello to you, Ty. And hello, Fortinbras. And hello, Philip Toma. And I feel like I'm on Romper Room. Sabrina said, LOL, what just happened? Ha, I tried to adjust the camera. As you can see, I've changed some hip things behind me. I'm getting even darker and even more mysterious in my older age. So I'm giving this a shot. So thank you for hanging in there and finding where I am. This isn't as smooth of an operation as coffee and underwear. So I do appreciate it. Diana said hi. Hello, Diana. Diana S. Or maybe Diana's. Maybe she's more than one Diana. Philip said, it's my name. How do you think I feel? I love that name, Philip Toma. And I'm happy you put the full name there. I'm happy you don't give me any of this Phil nonsense. Give me the ip. You know? People say fill up, but it's not fill up. Carla says RJ City Noir. And that's so very, very correct. Sam says, what's up? And I won't give that back. Neil said, good evening with a darling emoji. Brea is still here, said, hey, RJ, hello, Brea. Sabrina found one of my announcements. For all my channel members, there is a new David Arquette emoji. If you belong and you type in David in the emoji search, you now have access to a wonderful, joyous cartoon of David Arquette. And speaking of members, Kiana has just joined the Key to the City, and I'm so touched. That's so sweet. And I do have a couple announcements on the heels of that. That's so sweet of you. Number one is the new emoji, so please enjoy them. I just dropped some extra exclusive content yesterday. And on my community board, for all you Key to the City members, I just put a call out today for questions for my members only, very exclusive Q&A. So please, if you get a chance, write whatever you want, and I promise I will answer it, and I will take time. I'll be less of a horrible person than I usually am. Please do that. I'm going to record it next week. Get excited. Ty likes the dark background. Diana says she likes the setup, and so do I. Look at this. Look at how mysterious I am. Too bad that you guys already know everything about me, or else I'd really have quite a mystique. Sean's using the David Arquette emoji. I guess what does that emoji mean to you? What does David Arquette represent to you guys? To me, complete annoyance, but to you guys, probably unbridled joy. You all seem to be using it very well. Danny said, for a moment, I thought YouTube shut the stream down once they saw you showing a bit of cleavage. This thing is a little low today. I've been trying to figure it out. Let me put these together. Gotta go look at this. Who ordered the cleavage? Better late than never, said Jordan. Thank you for staying with me. Kiana said, thank you for being a friend. I thank you. And you're more than a friend. I don't mean like that way. God, never mind. Nils in New York said, it's not fun if you don't give sassy answers. I will give sassy answers. They'll just be a little deeper than usual. Bill said, hey, everyone, and RJ, love the film noir look tonight. Takes us back in time. And that's it's very retropolitan. And that's how I like to describe myself when I'm at a cocktail party. Nails said, welcome to the cult, Kiana. Nails will show you around, Kiana, if you have any questions. Sam said, cool background. Raquel Durango said, movie star, look, is there any ritual you go through before going on a date? I chew a lot of gum, but I chew it regardless. I like to sing in the car on the way because it tires me out. And then I don't, see, you get, like, when you're neurotic, you have a lot of energy to burn. So my best advice would be like, run around a little, do a few push-ups, stimulate yourself, not in that way, sing, burn some calories, and you'll go and you'll level off a little. It's very like Tabby said, this is classy as fuck. I say, Erin said she's going to use the David Arquette emoji whenever the screen crashes. He does have a, excuse us, we're experiencing technical difficulties kind of face. Famous Among the Barn said, so this is how I've decided to spend my birthday. It's your birthday, Famous, or should I call you Barnes? And to that, I say happy birthday to you. And you know what? I think I'm going to read a dirty limerick just in your honor. I'm very excited. Let's give a good. Let's try. Let me something that says famous among the barns. Here we go. There was a young fellow named Locke who was born with a two-headed cock. When he'd fondle the thing, it would rise up and sing an antiphonal chorus by Bach. So there you go. The man had a singing penis, and that is for you, famous by the barns. Happy birthday. What a sweet, what a memory you'll have for the rest of your life. Sean said, David Arquette represents one half of my favorite wrestling relationship. The other half must be Courtney. Kiana said, gotta find your cleavage angles. You know what? They're low. I need that high. I have to sit like this. There we go. This is better. It's a fun. Ty5 said, does the dark background play into your phobia of the dark? It makes it look like you're sitting in pitch black. It's just the camera setting. I've tooled around with it. It's very light around me, and I can see everything that's going on. I assure you, I wouldn't put myself in that danger. Fortinbras says, I feel like I need a fancy wine to watch you. Speaking of, I have my fancy beverage. It's not necessarily a wine. It's, of course, a lime Ricky Lake. It's a delightful combination of chlorophyll, water, and lime. Well, it's lemon. You can't tell, but sometimes I like to shoot it back. Jordan, a wonderful emoji. Let's figure this out. He said Hulk Hogan emoji plus the Vince McMahon emoji equals the David Arquette emoji. That's fair enough. Kiana said she started the RJ City cult. You are really very much a pioneer, a founding member. As you are, tidbit, if you guys want to click on Kiana and look her up at some point, this is absolutely true. And she's gone on record. She's the woman who created the Justin Timberlake "It's Gonna Be May" meme. It was her picture. It was her calendar. She started the whole thing. And it's been confirmed by NSYNC. It's been confirmed by Lance Bass. So, it still is May. So I think you should all salute her and, respect your elders who paved the way for you. Carla said, Retropolitan is my favorite Warren Ellis comic. Fair enough. Nail said, happy birthday, famous. Everyone's saying happy birthday, famous. Jordan says, telling one not to stimulate themselves that way is not very debaucherous. Well, for a date, if you're going out on a date. If you're on your own, get a bottle of Jergens and have a good time. A zucchini, what have you. I'm not going to judge as long as it keeps you happy. It's like playing a video game, when you hit and you play Fortnite or whatever it is, Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. What about Assassin's self-gratification? Fortinbras says happy birthday. Bill says happy birthday. This is a party, really, for Famous Among the Barns. Nail said, if your penis sang, what would it sing? If our lips should meet in amorata, kiss me sweet in amorata. A very if my penis was a gondolier, would sing that kind of music. If you want to hear the full version of that song, please remind me Sunday, because I do know it. Famous Among the Barns said, thank you. A penis limerick is what I always wanted. Well, your dream has come true, and it's Bach, too. It's not any of this Mozart crap. Tabby Leveland said, oh, I was looking away. Happy birthday, famous. Karen Mason says, hello, how are you day? Well, this day was, I think, a pretty decent day. For me, I slept in by 30 minutes. It made a huge difference in my life for some reason. And I was excited that this whole setup finally came. So I feel new. I feel refreshed. I moved things around in my studio. And I will continue to use this because it's barely a studio, but this is what everyone's doing. You know how gratifying it is that Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert and all these people have now stooped to my level because of the pandemic? It's the same thing. You're all doing this from your house. It's all makeshift business. Welcome. And I feel like I'm ahead of the game here. I was going to try to get over a 2.0 in the ratings tonight because I want to consider myself the number one wrestling promotion in all of North America. So please tell everyone to watch. Dave Mascarella said, I feel like I should be eating a Cobb salad during these, as you should. And, well, I will say a Cobb, Dave, is very, very hearty. And it's after 10 o'clock. I don't know how your digestion is when the sun goes down. Just be wary of that. I don't want you up all night with a stomach ache. It's got egg in it, sometimes turkey. Just maybe have a little Pepto. Kiana is laughing. SM said, question inspired by Seinfeld. RJ, when do you consider sex has taken place? To me, and I have had this discussion a lot, to me, sex requires penetration and not just of the digital variety. I feel sex means intercourse to me because everything else has a name too. You can certainly say we fooled around or we had a romp. Some people say we hooked up. And I didn't realize, I thought that meant we fooled around. I wasn't aware that that meant sex. And I was into some rude awakenings when I had to make some clarifications later in my life. Kiana said, that was like right around the time I met you too. See, Kiana met me and she was so stimulated creatively. She came up with the "It's Gonna Be May" meme. Bill said, so no appearance of pictures of Madeline Connor B tonight. Who's the one autograph you would love to have as part of your collection? You know, I have a lot of Jerry Lewis memorabilia. I don't have a Jerry Lewis autograph. I have a Nick Bockwinkel autograph, which I absolutely love. So maybe a Jerry Lewis because I have so much of his stuff. A B. Arthur autograph I don't have. I don't have a Ruth Buzzy, but I have a great cameo from her, so I don't think I'm that interested. Dom DeLuise also I think would be nice. I have a Randy Savage autograph too. And I have an autograph from Matt Cardona, which is very exciting. And I think you'll be seeing a little more of me and Matt very soon. So buckle up. This is a fine question, Bill. Jonathan Santos said, I can't spell Lime Ricky. No, I think that's it. I think you did. Without Limerick. Clever. Feels good to be back live. Jonathan Santos took 2 weeks off. He was in the Catskills, I guess, doing some pruning of the hedges of a property he owns up there, getting it ready for the summer. But welcome back, young fella. Tabby Lavalam said, should they release the Snyder cut of Harold and Maude? They should release the Maude cut of the Justice League. I loved Harold and Maude. What a deeply depressing but sweet movie. And they really don't make them like that anymore. Jordan said, assassins need. And we all have that need, I'm telling you. Ella Jackson said, would you consider yourself a hopeless romantic? Yes, in the sense that I envision always zero hope in my romance, and that I'm stunned when anything goes even moderately well. My philosophy in life is always to expect the worst, because then at the worst case scenario, you'll break even. You know, always anticipate. Let me get closer. I always anticipate total disaster. That way, when it's not a total disaster, when it's just a mild disaster, you're pleasantly surprised. I always want to prepare. You know, why am I good at coming back with insults and things of that nature? It's because I have already thought up 1,000 insults to myself before I left the house. So I'm well equipped. It's a neurosis. Dave with a debaucherous question. You think the butthole cut of the Cats movie will ever come out? I'll tell you something, Dave. One, yes, because I think it will make more money than the original movie, the non-anal cut. Number two, I just watched Andrew Lloyd Webber put it up on his thing. The original, it was a tape of the Broadway production or the stage musical version. I don't know if it was Broadway of Cats. And I will say, as I've said all the time, Cats holds the record for saying the word cats more time than any other Broadway musical. And my favorite thing is when they're singing a song and it like blah, 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 hat. And then you know the next word is going to be cat. You know, that's what they have to rhyme it with. It's a drinking game. Nail said, my friend Fowl Original asked me to ask your thoughts on Larry Grayson. Let me put it like this, Nails. I don't know a Larry Grayson. I know a Stu Grayson. And I know a Larry Gilbart. I know a Larry Fine. Do either of those move you? Let me know, and I'll be happy to give you my opinion. David Feig or David Feig. What wrestlers could form the perfect Golden Girls stable, like the Four Horsemen, but with Beatrice and the girls? I feel like I get this question at almost every episode, and the answer is me, Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, and Colin Delaney. That's it. We are the 4 horsemen because our throats are very scratchy. Danny Phantom says, hashtag trendsetter. I'll say. Aaron says, maybe a tiny Cobb salad in a wine glass. Just dunk a nice hard-boiled egg in here. That would be lovely. Carla said, Tabby Leveland said, yes, famous among the Barnes, the birthday person. Said, did you ever get an explanation for all the Bobby and the horse nonsense last week? Thank you for reminding me, because I did. Apparently, so me, Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, and Bobby Fish, who's in NXT, used to make a long trek down to Pittsburgh every month to wrestle for a place called IWC. And this is one of those things that I didn't remember, but it was explained to me by Taven later, and it's definitely something I did. I just don't have any recollection of it. At some point, we're all getting ready to go, and Bobby did a kind of like that. I do it like that, but he did it like whatever. But it sounds like a galloping. It's a horse thing, and he did it just as a thing people do mildly. He did it for 2 seconds and didn't think about it. And for some reason, I would not let it go. And I kept gathering people around and saying, Bobby, do the horse for everybody. Everyone loves it. Everybody, he's gonna do it. Do the horse, Bob. Bob, come on. Between friends, we love the horse. We got to have the horse. We need to see the horse, Bob. Please. I would love to see the horse. And apparently I would not let it go the whole evening. And I have zero recollection of that. That is how much stupid content comes out of my mouth. So that's the explanation for Bobby do the horse. Karen Mason is now a member of Citizens United. And my hat's off to you, Karen, and enjoy all the horrible emojis. Jonathan said, since we're on Seinfeld, are you master of your domain? I am king of the county. Andrea said, I set him a reminder so I didn't miss this week. Very proud of myself. I'm very proud of you, Andrea. And I enjoy all the lovely writing and newsletters. Andrea has a lovely wrestling-themed newsletter, and I enjoy collecting smart people who also like to talk about wrestling in my social circles, and Andrea is one of them. So go also follow her stuff, too. She's a sweet gal. And she says, happy birthday, famous, so she's a good person. Nail said, welcome, Karen, and she's using the joyous David Arquette emoji. Broski City, says Sean Flagstaff. I'm into it. Oh, yes. Who knows what'll happen down the line. Erica says, hello, 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 and hello to you. Tabby said, this is for Karen. It's my emoji, which is just talk about starting a cult. Nail said, I thought your philosophy was do the moves. Well, you do the moves, but you also expect the worst. You think they're going to be the worst. You know, you're going to get the worst response. So you prepare yourself by doing the most moves. You didn't think I had an answer for that, did you? Bill Alexander said, so any run-ins with Dick the Bruiser yet now that you're in the AWA? And since this is 2020, is Dick the Bruiser a bit too risque for a wrestler's name? Well, I'll tell you something. He has to get an STD test immediately. A bruised dick is nothing to fool around with. I've mainly been running the ropes with Crusher Jerry Blackwell, and he's been a great supporter and friend. Here's to the AWA. Nils New York says, does Cats say Cats more than Dalton on Planet Peacock? Yes, absolutely. You need to go watch Cats. I'm aware how much Dalton says the word cats. Cats blows it out of the water. SM said, is quarantine the longest you've ever gone without coitus? Well, no, because at first I'm like, no, like what about when I was a kid? Since I've started doing it, since 10th grade, doing it, coitus, as they say, legally. No. And looking back on it, it hasn't been that, like, this whole quarantine business hasn't been that long. I've had droughts before. When you lose your first girlfriend, it's just a scramble. It's a madhouse because that was the only person that you were coitusing. And then to have the bottom fall out of that, as it usually inevitably does with all first girlfriends, you're like, I gotta find somebody else to do this with. This is the one person who wanted to do this with me, and now she doesn't want to do more. I gotta meet someone again. I have to explain myself. it's an ordeal. So I'd say probably then. And you know what? I'm doing okay. I'm also interested in the concept of sexual transmutation. They say that if your coitus juices your energy. If you don't use it that way, it will come out in creativity or motivation or productivity. I'll let you know when it starts working. Dave said, question, you go into someone's home for the first time after a great date and they lit some candles to set the mood. How many candles is enough to go from romantic to a serial killer vibe? More than 5. I'd say 3 is all right. 4, we're like, 5 is like, now you're just a pyromaniac. Jordan said, I think it's why I handle major crises so well. I always think a nuclear bomb is going to hit, so an unexpected expense, not so bad. Little things like wet socks, I'll melt down. See, you always have to assume your socks are going to be wet when you put them on. Then when they're dry, you're like, this is great. Sean said, do you know Stu Grayson? I do, and I feel like we've wrestled before. Although I can't really remember. Maybe one of those matches where it's like so many men, but we never touched. Tabby said, now I want you to get a role in Dear Evan Hansen so I can just say cats over and over again to break the record. AJ Lund said, you mispronounced Taven and Toiven and Hua. Matthew Tavenson. That's the full pronunciation. That's what it says on his driver's license. Bill Alexander said, you mentioned Ruth Buzzy. Seeing her birthday, shout out to you. Yes, David Arquette for my last birthday got me a cameo from Ruth Buzzy, and it was the sweetest thing, and I started to cry, so I don't like David Arquette. She said, Bill said, did you ever make it out to Texas for her to cheer you on at ringside? She would have been a great manager, valet for you. I was going to be in Texas, and so was David, and we were going to South by Southwest to premiere his documentary, and then we were going to wrestle, and we wanted to get her, but of course, the whole bottom dropped out of that because there's a demic, and it's of the pan variety. Denny Phantom said, now we have to tweet Bobby Fish and ask him to do the horse. Please, 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 everyone tweet Bobby Fish and just say, do the horse. If I could ask you for one thing my whole life, it would be that. He never checks his Twitter, but it doesn't matter. Karen said, or she say, thank you, Karen. Andrea said, now I'm blushing. Well, you do fine work, Andrea. Dave said, have you joined any random Zoom calls since last week? It's my new wrestling gimmick. I'll show up on your Zoom calls unannounced. Have I shown up on any unannounced? No, one announced, and you'll see it by the end of this week. Stokely said, sorry I'm late. Did I miss the gratuitous nudity? I've been dropping some major class. Should have done push-ups. I figured I had this on. I didn't have to do push-ups like when I do coffee and underwear, but now I've embarrassed myself. Jave said, can you do the Russell Rock Rumble rap? Yes, I can. I'm RJ City, and I'm here to say I'm the neatest guy in the No, I'm RJ City with a little refrain. In the AWA, I will entertain. I want a Cobb salad, not an apple crumble, but I can't wait to do the Russell Rock Rumble. It's been so many years since I've done it. It's hard for me to remember. There you go, Dave. Nail said, we were waiting for you, Stokely. Time to get naked, RJ. Well, that's nice. Famous said, favorite Fred Willard roles. I think his best is Fernwood Tonight as Barth was not his Jerry Hubbard sidekick to Martin Mullen, Fernwood Tonight. A wonderful talk show that had like 3 spinoffs too. I'm sure I'll be covering it at some point. But also what I really, really loved was him in Waiting for Guffman. That was his best. I mean, I love a lot of his roles, but those are the 2 of my favorites. I think RJ would make a good sex ed teacher, said Nails. Sure. Carla said, famous among the Barnes. Oh, yes. Thoughts on Fred Willard in general. I mean, an ace fella. What else can you say? A pro comedian all the way. A sweet-looking fella and did so much work and kept working. I think he's in that Space Force thing, too. Dear Lord. Nail said, does David buy cameos from you? Yes, he bought one for his daughter's birthday, which was very sweet and incredibly awkward. Neil said, be right back, tweeting Bobby Fish. Fortinbras said, this is the most laid-back cult ever. Yeah, well, I don't want to force these kind of cult things. If you want to join the cult, fine. If not, there's a door. It's a casual cult. It's a cash cult. Tabby Lavaland said, I'm always surprised somebody named Bobby Fish is a wrestler and not a professional gambler. Should have been a fisherman. There's probably a fisherman named Robert Wrestle. Neil said, I'm back from tweeting Bobby Fish. Did I miss nudity? Yes. The whole shebang. And it was underwhelming. Carla said, I was hoping you'd say Fernwood Tonight. Fernwood Tonight is amazing. And to me, it was the precursor to like SETV and even modern stuff like the Eric Andre show. Fernwood Tonight is a sleeper hit. Morelia said, Simone says, what? Dave said, what sitcom would you have loved to do a cameo in? Oh, Lord, that's a great question. Well, I loved Taxi. I thought they were great, and I thought everyone on it was just so cool. But really, I would have loved to do a cameo. Like, if I had to be myself, and the answer is, who the fuck are you? I would love to be on Larry Sanders. That would have been my dream. Jordan said, you and Gorgeous Jimmy as a tag team that eventually turn on each other. Well, don't all tag teams. Nails in New York said, Bobby Fish is one of the worst wrestler names. It's better than Bobby Horse. Andrea said, where did that whole my name is whatever and I'm here to say thing come from? I've wondered this for weeks. I would love to know. I think it came from the Super Bowl shuffle. I think that was like the first worst rap. That was like, to me, the first mainstream kind of, we're trying to be popular rap. And I think say is a good word. It rhymes with a lot of other stuff. It's very short, you know? And I'm here to say, I guess they were peering and they had to justify why they were there. Erica Napa said, I don't know why this popped up in my head, but I just remember the relationship advice you gave me 2 years ago. And I thank you because I'm in a 2-year relationship. Here's something even more interesting, Erica. I have zero recollection of what the advice actually was. So if you do remember it, please let me know, unless it was too horrible. But I'm happy everything's working out well. Neil said, it's a good cult because when RJ says, join if you want, you get desperate to join. It's the reverse psychology of it. SM said, RJ, of any body part that is symmetrical, which is your favorite on your own body? For example, I have a favorite eyebrow. Well, I have this dimple here. And I like it because it's not real. Because I only have one, as you see. And I only have one because when I was in the 6th grade, I was standing next to my friend who was doing slap shots with a hockey stick. And he followed through and he hit me in the face with the end of it. Like the stick, not that butt end, the other end. And then I ended up with a big bruise and a hole in my face. So it worked out very well for me. AJ said, what does a yellow light mean? Name that show. I don't know. AJ is one of the few people who goes out of her way to have deeper cuts than I normally have. And she likes to embarrass me publicly, obviously, by exploiting my knowledge of things. Thanks. I'm going to say it's from the Jack Benny show. Tabby said, Bobby Fish is the guy who antagonizes Don Knotts in the sequel to The Incredible Mr. Limpet. Bobby Fish! Do the horse, Bobby. Do the horse. It's horrible, Don Knotts. But you understood. Carla said, Andrea Hanks, a Fruity Pebbles commercial, actually. Oh, that does make sense. Nail said, I think a great sitcom would be RJ and Danhausen on the run from the law for a crime they didn't commit, visiting various wrestlers, looking for clues to clear their names, and arguing. No swearing. It should be called I Swear. Andrea said, this all explains it perfectly. Thank you, Carla. I'm so happy that I'm building this little community that can answer people's trivial questions. Carla says she's going into the I'm blank and I'm here to say thing. Technically, there's an old Chiquita Banana commercial that kind of uses the rhyme, but yes, Barney Rubble and the Flintstones used it first. Nail said, oh my God, I don't want your perfect face to be hit with a hockey stick. Well, it's too late. AJ said it's Taxi, which makes so much sense because how many other traffic light related sitcoms are there? Although I'm sure there were some lights on Wings, but that was more for air traffic. And Wings was basically Taxi and Cheers. Cheers in an airport. Thank you. And I see the floor to you. Sorry. Dave said, is sharing a shower with your significant other a sexy time or a major bloodbath waiting to happen when one slips and hits the head? Let me tell you something. If you're doing that, take time to make sure you both clean first. You don't want to waste the water because it gets hot. And if you start your business and then the hot water runs out and it gets cold, then you got to get out and you're both dirty. It's disgusting. Clean first. And put some grip down or maybe wear water shoes. It's a good look. Sabrina's really testing out the emojis. She's using David B, which is just both joy and disappointment at the same time. Neil said, I watched the Nobodies. Did Ariel punch you in the arm for the shouting comment? No, but they're mean. They're a rough crew, and they take no gruff from a prankster like me. Bill said, love your take on the early years of Hollywood. Yes, on my member exclusive Key to the City, I've been reading Hollywood Babylon, which is the most debaucherous book in old Hollywood history. And it gets a lot worse, so stay tuned, everyone. Bill said, your retrospective on Olive Thomas was great. Any silent era movies that you would suggest? Yeah, The Phantom of the Opera. The original is fantastic and has a way larger budget than you're, assuming. I did love Metropolis, but Metropolis is like the Hulk Hogan of silent films. Like everybody loved it. Stokely said, would you rather take the Bockwinkel sleeper or the Rikishi stinkface? Both moves can render you unconscious or cause possibly death. I would rather die at the hands of Nick Bockwinkel. He was a gentleman. And he looked like he smelled great. Dave Mascarella do you think a wrestling version of Quantum Leap is a good idea for a show? That's basically like Blue Meanie's gimmick. He would just show up in a different gimmick. Simon Graves said, are you going to do any future trailer reactions? Simon, that's a great idea. I am thinking about them. I have a bunch of content that I'm working on, and then that is also on the list. I'll probably do it just for the members because sometimes with the trailers, since they are, I don't own them, they put holds on them and stuff, and they get weird, and I'd rather have them in a place where I know they're just okay and people can enjoy them, but they will make a comeback at some point. I assure you. Stay the course. There's a lot to get through first, but it's definitely on the list. Sean said, you may have answered this before, but what's the objectively worst sitcom that you totally love? Mama's Family. No reason. There's no reason that should have been the sitcom. Great sketch. Horrible sitcom. Good actors in it, but they took away the main cast from the sketch. It was hard. There's no Carol Burnett. It sucks. Tabby said The Flintstones, a honeymooners ripoff without the threats of domestic violence. I think Fred was very rough with Wilma verbally. Nell said, I think you should react to naughty movie trailers. I'll take that under advisement. Famous Among the Bonds said, Hollywood Babylon. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And I do look up stories in Hollywood Babylon, and there are things in it that are so outrageous that I'm like, this is not true. And then it turns out to be perhaps the most valid. But it's wonderfully written, like the way you would go to the beach and read a tabloid. RJ, do you watch any reality shows or trash TV? So which ones? I love My 600-Pound Life, mainly because no matter who the subject is, it's always the same doctor. And he gives this horrible advice, and it's just like, so lackadaisical, like, lay off the sugary drinks, maybe don't have that much Sprite, I don't know what else to tell you. He's incredibly ineffectual. That's like the only one that I like. I did start watching a little of this 90-Day Fiance with the no-neck guy, but like after the first episode, like, I got it. Nick Bockwinkel probably smelled like Brute, said Carla, and I totally agree. Nail said, which bushwhacker would you prefer to be quarantined with? Luke, because I've wrestled him and I've traveled with him, and he was great. I don't know Butch. Sabrina said, I love the Hollywood Babylon videos. Thank you. More to come. Yolanda said, I was technically here at 10 p.m., but my computer rebooted, so I should not get a pass tonight. Yolanda, that sounds like a classic bullshit story to me. That's my dog ate my computer. Danny Phantom said, I loved Mama's Family. Well, so did I, but it was also bad. Nail said, I think you'd be great breaking people. Even then, I think you'd be great breaking down people's ring attire, what they got right and wrong, all that kind of stuff. I did an episode of Ring Gear Remix with the Nobodies, and we talked about David Arquette's gear. Oh, and the Fashion Police. Dave Muscarella said, best guest star on Night Court. Gilbert Gottfried. Actually, Lou Ferrigno played a professional wrestler. There's a nice tie-in. Jordan loved Mama's Family. Erica Napo said, all I remember from that night was that I just got out of a relationship, and you said that there are plenty of fish in the sea. Well, that's generic advice. That was the advice. And later that night, some guy said hi to me, and now him and I are together. There were plenty of fish in the sea, and you were in the middle of the ocean because one bumped into you, and now you're hooked. But no, wait, they would be hooked. You're the one doing the fishing. You wouldn't be in the ocean. Maybe you have a spear. Maybe it's like a harpoon. Nevertheless, congratulations. As Em said, are ketchup chips really all they're cracked up to be? I haven't had ketchup chips in like years, and if I had one, I think I would need a second. It was a lot when I was a kid, and they were so salty they would like burn the corners of your mouth. Eric is using the mildly frightened Hulk Hogan emoji. It's very effective. Nails in New York said, "Do you have any thoughts on Austin Gunn? I'm getting a bit of a crush on him. Is he a good guy? I would assume he's a good guy." Because his father is a good guy, even though his father doesn't like me that much, as you can see on our episode of Coffee and Underwear. And I do have a big Billy Gunn crush. So why wouldn't I have an Austin Gunn crush? Sure, I have a crush on Austin Gunn. Fair enough. Fine. I'm with you. Bill said, Mama's Family was missing Carol Burnett, which really hurt the show, but I loved Rue in it. Rue McClanahan was very good in it. The original skit of them playing the board game Sorry always cracks me up. It was just as a show, I was like, ah. Tabby said, making Mama's Family without Burnett, Corman, and Conway is like they were deliberately trying to not get viewers. It was a one-man Vicki Lawrence show, although whoever played Eunice was very good. Yolanda said, what? But my dog did eat my computer. Unlikely story, Yolanda. Go sit in the corner. I'm putting you in timeout. Stokely sent a wonderful mint tribute and said, do the horse. And I will do my version of the horse, even though Bobby does a better one, and you guys really should tweet him. And now you're saying, who's galloping? You're looking out the window. Nell said, what would you call a pet hamster? Gomez. That fish in the sea, said Carla, should do the horses. Should do the horse, excuse me. We're not talking about crossbreeding. Kiana said, look at you bringing relationships together. I am, again, a real social lubricant. Nell said, have you ever hidden under the ring with Swoggle? I've never hidden under the ring, period, which is great because it's disgusting. No matter what bizarre Legion Hall it is just straight up disgusting. Eric said, that's how you do David, L-U-L. I love when David finds out that we have a David emoji. When he joined, like on Sunday, if he's in the chat, everyone just use it, but nobody say it's him, and let's see if he figures it out. Dave said, what animal has the best sex life, you think? Birds having sex while going really fast in the air has to be exciting. Yeah, if you ever see a hummingbird doing it, it's a sight to behold. Also, tortoises really put the effort into sex, considering how slow they move and eat. Otherwise, they're like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So I say good for them. Nail said, the White Claw is making me ask stupid questions. Oh, somebody's bombed. Do you like White Claw? I do not like it. It's just like, meh, club soda to me. Like cheap bar club soda. Do I like Joey Janela? Sure. I've only met him a handful of times. I haven't had that many interactions with him. I'm not opposed to the man. I'll give him a like. Nails is applauding Stokely and is using a horse emoji. Eric said, Warhorse? Yes, everyone do the Warhorse. Tabby said, I'm pretty sure there's a plenty of Bobby Fish in the sea joke, but nah, there's a plenty of Bobby Horse. Nail said, have you ever ridden a horse? Multiple times. I would say at least 5 times, and I was okay. I wasn't trick riding. I wasn't taking it off over any jumps. I did that a lot. Yolanda said, ha, damn it, I'll go stand in the corner. And also, think about what you've done, Yolanda. It's not good enough that you just take the punishment. I want you to learn something from this. Nail said, I disturbed 2 sparrows having sex in the garden, and I felt super guilty for hours. That's a shame. A real cock block. A bird block. Andrea said, do you cook? What I want, like the bare minimum, like egg whites and asparagus and like chicken breasts. I'm not whipping it up. I'm no Mario Cantone, who I miss. SM said, "Do the horse sounds like a sex move." I saw some videos in high school and I've never forgotten them. Kiana said, "You call everything club soda." Well, that is club soda. That really is. Also, I also want to distinguish, and if anyone's from New York, maybe Jonathan Santos can weigh in. There's a real distinct difference in taste to me between club soda and seltzer water. And I like seltzer better. Nail said, "Are you scared of PCO?" Absolutely, because I have a brain. And he's not normal. The man is a monster and his manager. Dave said, "What female wrestlers do you want to have matches with once wrestling is a thing again?" Solo Darling, I think would be fun. Who else? You know, I teamed with MJ Jenkins once years and years and years ago, and we had a blast. So I would say her too, and Rockin' Robin. Bill said, "So which is more difficult in your opinion, physical comedy or intellectual comedy? You seem like the Peter Sellers of comedy. You can do it all." That's so sweet of you. Yes, and I am just losing my mind. Let me put it like this. If you do physical comedy well enough, it can also be intellectual comedy in bizarre subtlety in ways that make you think. My perfect example is, I don't know if it's one of the Naked Guns or whatever it is, but Leslie Nielsen, you know, in the wall, there's a fire extinguisher case. He breaks the glass, then unlatches it and opens it and takes out the fire extinguisher. Stuff like that. Chevy Chase was very good at small, subtle stuff. They do the big stuff too, but I think you need to do both. So I think you can bring a level of smartness. Also, I think you can bring a wonderful level of idiocy to intellectual comedy, which is one of my favorite things to do. I used to love Peter Sellers in The Party, but it's unwatchable now, said Tabby. Yep. It's a little brown face, little racist. He did create a good sympathetic character in general, but ethically, the time for it is not now. It was actually Elvis's favorite movie, and he used to watch in his movie theater in his house. Nail said, "I love Solo Darling. She's a dish." Brandon said, "Which one of those pervs was showing you horse sex videos in high school?" Yeah, I don't know. Tabby Lavaland said, "What's a good, sexy, debauched meal?" Well, I think oysters are gross. Fish is no good. I think a light pasta with a white wine sauce. I think you can get away with it. Easy on the garlic. Keep it a little sweet. And a nice glass of white wine to go with it. And you're in business for the next couple hours. No cream sauce. No cream on anything. Carla said, "I just like hearing you say Solo Darling." Philip said, "Yay, Solo." Neil said, "RJ is hilarious naturally." Sean said, "I feel like you could have a great match with Officer Magnum," which is, of course, Solo's canine compatriot. I'd like to mix it up with him, too. Neil said, "So can the members really ask you anything?" Yes. To reiterate, if you are a Key to the City member, I put out an open call for questions for my members only AMA. I will be doing a normal Ask RJ, but I usually blow through those. This one is a little different. So go to the community tab and you can ask me anything. And I promise I will read it. I will have the time to think about it and I will honestly answer it. So do comment before the end of this week. Dave said, what is more snobby an event, dog shows or equestrian events? Oh, equestrian events. Like, our dogs, our horses are more well endowed. And Bobby Horse does us. Bobby Horse does not do dogs. I've been to like a super dogs show. They do like wacky tricks. They do like pool jumping, like long jumping in a pool. There's a lot of like, there's less snobbery in those kind of dog shows. And I've never seen the horse equivalent. MJ Jenkins gets a heart from Danny Phantom. Nail said, "Sean, I love Officer Magnum." Nail said, "Do you think Scrappy Doo needed anger management?" I think they all did. They were very weird. I didn't like them at all, and they never looked like they should have been friends in real life, in the movie or the cartoon. Famous Among the Bond said, thoughts on Andy Kaufman and Bernadette Peters and Heartbeats. That reminds me, I have to do a Good, Bad, the Unknown on Andy Kaufman. I get what they were going for, and I also get why it didn't work. I would have loved to seen a movie between the two of them, period. It's just a lot, that concept. It's one of those things that's like, would have been a much better sketch or a short film. But interesting nonetheless. Bill said Leslie Nielsen was such a good underrated performer. Plus, if B would marry him, that right there tells you everything. Yes, it does, Bill. Fine eye. Stokely said Dr. Strangelove is a classic Peter Sellers movie. I also watched another, the Pink Panther. He's barely in it. It's really a Niven film, and he goes in and out until I'm sure it came out and everybody loved Peter Sellers. The new Scoob movie looks atrocious, said Tabby. Here's my man, Blue Meanie, host of the Mind of Meanie podcast, which you should check out. Blue Meanie said, I prefer David Letterman's Stupid Pec Tricks. Actually, Meanie, I've been binging. Somebody made a supercut of all of Chris Elliott's Letterman appearances, but they supercut them by character. So the guy under the seats, they have all his appearances in one video. The conspiracy guy, the fugitive guy, when he did Morton Downey Jr. And honestly, Chris Elliott on Letterman, one of my favorites ever. Just a comedian. It was fantastic. Dave Muscarella said, what would have been a realistic ending to Gilligan's Island? Well, they all die of starvation. Except for Thurston Howell, because he eats his wife first. Bill Alexander said, Meanie. I should get a Blue Meanie emoji. Yes, correct, Bill. I really should. Tabby said, I'm sorry quarantine got to you, Eric. Stay the course, Eric. Nail said, my next question was going to be, when did you become friends with Blue Meanie and he appeared like a blue devil? I met Blue Meanie a year and a half ago at House of Hardcore in Philly, and he was so nice. It was me and David against Robbie E. and Tyrus, and he was so nice and such a wonderful, delightful person, as was his Mrs. Meanie, his lady friend. And then he ended up doing some Greektown business. I think we had a hoot there too, and we've been online bosom buddies ever since. And here's to our friend affair. A little bit of this. I know your taunts from WrestleMania 2000, you rogue. Brian said, I love Chris Elliott as Meanie, Blue Meanie. I say Brian, but I interchange. I love Chris Elliott as Martin Brando singing the Banana song. Dun 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 dun. Bananas. That song is called Alley Cat. It's an old standard song, and he also used it on Get a Life, and he also used it in the movie Cabin Boy, which is a weird movie. And I, at one time, danced in the ring with Scott D'Amore to that song, the owner and president, or whatever the hell he is, of Impact Wrestling. I got him to dance. Dave said, Get a Life was a wonderful sitcom. Yes, it was. And so ahead of its time. So just, they got that Tim and Eric kind of vibe was there before everyone else was. And he will never get the credit he deserves because he's too good. Tabby said, should Meanie change his name to Blue Nicey? No, he's a real Meanie. Shane said, I turned off Kate Bush for this. Well, turn her back on. Aintree said, Meanie seems like a great guy. Blue Meanie is a nice. Can I be your Peter Sklar? I'm not talking about those bosom buddies. I'm not talking about Tom Hanks and Peter Sklar. I'm talking about B. Arthur and Angela Lansbury. So you can be Angela Lansbury. I think that's a role you can handle. Nell said, oh, we need a Ricky Lake emoji for when we drink to something. Yeah, I should get this little thing here. Here's to your health. Nell said, wait a minute. Where's all the Jessamine sent me people tonight? Part-timers. Yeah, that's what happens. She's kind of a fly-by-nighter. She's like, oh, yeah, everyone just go invade her stream. It's a power move. She's like, oh, I'm supporting him. I'm a good person. And she's not a consistent person. She's leaving me off the hook here. I got bupkis going on here. It's a real shame. No, thanks to her. It's not a fine at all. Philip said, is Blue Meanie as cool as what we've all heard? If you say yes, I believe it. I will say, knowing him, the little I know of him in person, he's as close to a human adult version of Blue Meanie as humanly possible. Yolanda said, I'm coming out of the corner because I'm parched. You know what, Yolanda? Thank you for serving your punishment like a good girl. Dear Lord, that came off not so nice. I'm going to read a little dirty limerick for you. Ooh, okay. Oh, I can't say that one. I can't say that one. That doesn't make any sense. Here we go. There was an old party of Fife who suspected a clap in his wife. So he bought an injection to cure the infection, which gave him a stricture for life. I don't understand that one. All right, let's get this one. These are all about STDs. A horny young soldier named Frank had only his girlfriend to thank that he didn't catch clap, gonorrhea, or pap and wind up in an oxygen tank. See, if you don't have a disease and you're in a long-term relationship, turn to your honey and say thank you for all you've done. Adrian Cooper said, Sir, I'm still waiting for the casting call for that male version of Heathers. It's coming. Who would win in a fight, Peter Dinklage or Herve Villechaize? Herve Villechaize was not someone you mess around with. He was a cantankerous fella. And he thought he was a star, and he was. So I'm going Herve all the way. Screw you, Peter. Does Blue Meanie know any limericks? Asked Nails. That I don't know. Dave Muscarella said, what actor was the funniest in drag? I would say Milton Berle. He, to me, was the original. And certainly it got way too broad at a certain point, but before that was great. Nails said, well, if Jessamine has a poster-side picture of you in her fireplace, she does support you in that way. That's very kind. Fortinbras says, Jessamine sent me to another cult. So all these cults. Yolanda said, yay to my limericks. That was a good one. Fortinbras is just getting applause from Nails. Nails said Val pancakes. I love Val pancakes. We all love Val pancakes. What's for breakfast? Val pancakes. Dave said, what's the funniest STD names? I mean, crabs just sounds evil. You know? Chlamydia. Chlamydia. It's hard to spell. And gonorrhea, too, because gonorrhea is so close to diarrhea. And how they're spelling and how they're pronounced. It's one of those tricky things. Those would be my top two. Adrian said, has Burgess Meredith become an expression? Has the expression Burgess Meredith caught on yet? I can't use it with the same gusto as you. Burgess Meredith. Burgess Meredith. You can use it as in a positive way too. Watch. Oh, Burgess Meredith. That's a good drink. Are those glasses prescription? Yes, and the prescription is that they have no frames. Val said, I love you, Nails. You make RJ say the best stuff. Kiana said, fun fact, Doctor Who. I thought you were talking about Doctor Who. Fun fact, the doctor who delivered me was named Dr. Clap. Clap on. Clap off. Dr. Clap. That must be so annoying. He must have been like, why do I had to choose a profession where you have to call people by their last name? Please call me Steven. Steven Clapp. Adrian Cooper said, no lenses, no frames, you schmuck. No lenses, not no frames, you schmuck. Fair enough. Blue Meanie said, rumor has it that on the set of Fantasy Island, Sonny Bono actually referred to tattoo as pontoon, and it caused Herve to storm off. Yeah, I heard that Herve Villechaize was always packing heat. Why he thought that? And you must imagine at that size how difficult it must be to carry a gun. I would assume a big gun in those days, have it strapped to your leg or whatever. Like, why would you do that? He was ready to throw down at any second. Sabrina said, lovely stream as always. Have a wonderful night. Sabrina, go write your question in the community tab. And thank you for continuing to use the David Arquette emoji. Shane said, were Sally Jesse Raphael's glasses a gimmick too? She wasn't a real person. She was actually played by character actor Eli Wallach. Doctor Who was posing as Dr. Clapp. Bill sent a lovely tribute, but he has a request. Could we get your best Charles Nelson Riley impersonation of him insulting Brett Summers? My favorite movie is The Fast and the bi-curious. The fast and the bi. He said something about Brett, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, she said that she lived in New York City, and she didn't. She said she lived downtown, and she didn't at all. Something to that effect about Carnegie Hall, she said she lived downtown, and like Charles immediately called her out on her bullshit, and he said, he started laughing immediately. He said, "Yeah, if you spit from a house, you can hit Carnegie Hall," and then like 8 minutes of laughter. He was like, there you go. I hope that was worth $5. Andrea just joined the condo of charisma, and that is so sweet of you. And I will enjoy the YouTube pics and the early access and the bevy of emojis. It only gets worse from here. Blue Meanie says, have you seen the HBO movie they did about Herve with Peter Dinklage in his role? Yeah, I watched it on the plane once. And it was too much about the reporter. I'm doing a story on Herve Village. It's like, and he goes home and he's like, that Herve guy's really making me think. It's like, nobody cares about you. I want to hear about Herve. I would just watch a behind the scenes biopic of just them on like Fantasy Island. I wanted more. I think Herve was weirder than they were letting on. Val said, I love your Charles Nelson Riley impression. Nail said Letterman or Leno. I'm not even going to answer that. Letterman all the way in almost every measure of the imagination. Eric's using the Vint emoji. Tabby said, it just occurred to me how great you would have been on the original Love. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The Love Boat. I would have been great. I did post a picture of me once of me in the opening credits. You know how they had the boy thing? Tabby's using the B. Arthur emoji. It's very sweet of you. Nail said, welcome, Andrea. It's not a cult. Tell your friends. So I've heard, Nail. So I've heard. Good luck with everything, Andrea. My apologies in advance. Nail said, do you think you could have outsassed Joan Rivers? No. No, absolutely not. I'll tell you who else I couldn't have outsassed. Toady Fields and Pat Cooper, who's still alive, I think. Oh, maybe he's dead. So I need a fact checker. I need a death fact checker. That video came out with the nobodies, and I was talking about Reginald Vell Johnson being dead. I looked it up. The guy's 67 is alive and well. I got to be careful. I need a statistician. Death Knight said, there is something very meta watching the Herve documentary on a plane. Yes. And people call me boss. Val said, quick, what indie wrestler would be the best as which Love Boat character? I don't know, but Luigi Primo needs to be a chef. I like him. I think Danhausen should be in the bowels of the ship. That's for sure. Nail said, but you're in the top 10 sassers of the world. Yeah, but I think she really upped the game in sassing in general. Tabby said, when you turn face again, not happening. Would you consider a saucy sailor gimmick? Yes, and my name will be Ashley Remington. Smooth sailing Ashley Remington. Adrian said, you're cursing people, RJ. I know, it's bad. Wait till Betty White goes. Death Knight said, before you make Barrica cry again. I did make her cry by suggesting that Nora Dunn might have passed away. Bill Alexander said, so what would be a big fantasy if you were a guest on Fantasy Island? Well, the fantasies never end up well. They always end in like a mild Twilight Zone kind of way. But I think I would want to be a star. And then I become a star for something I hate. And I can't get out of the sitcom. And it keeps getting renewed and renewed and renewed. And I can't get it canceled no matter what I do. That is my perfect Twilight Zone. Eric said Uncle Phil died. Yes, he did. But Reginald Vell Johnson, you're thinking of James Avery. James Avery played Uncle Phil. Reginald Vell Johnson played Carl Winslow. Nail said yes, but you're allowed to say alive people are dead if you're with Barrica because we want her to cry. That's fine. Carla said, is bowels a swear? It depends how you say it. Oh, bowels. Yes, it would be a swear. Adrian said, Betty White, don't you dare. I've had enough of her ilk. Nail said, Ashley Remington and Tugboat, the dream. Val said, RJ hates Betty White. Thank you for remembering. Tabby said, As a baby, were you RJ Settlement, RJ Village, RJ Town, and then finally grew into RJ? I was born RJ Hamlet. Nail said, if you had a bogeys type game like Dick and Dom, Dick and Dom, I love them, but you couldn't have bogeys, what word would you use? I would say Burgess Meredith. And all the kids would say, oh, Burgess Meredith. Nail said, F, Betty White. Eric is still using the B. Arthur emoji, and God bless you. Adrian said, all right, you're a heel with me. See, I'm back in business, baby. This cult is the anti-Betty White. Now, I'm going to read a closing limerick, but before I do, I want to thank you all for joining me and my new members for being new members. And also, if you're in the Key to the City thing, go look on the community. I posted it today. Go write your question. Probe me as much as you want. I will give you a clean look at my deepest, darkest answers and truth with a Z. So go write your questions. Blue Meanie said, I want a buddy movie of Andre the Giant and Herve Villechaize where they just call each other boss for 90 minutes. Hello, boss. Hello, boss. Hello, Herve. Hello, Andre. You are very small. You are very tall. Let's go shit in the bathtub. I will shit in the sink. And on that note, is the cigar lit tonight? No, but clearly I am. I can't say that one. Here we go. All right. There was a young lady named Duff with a lovely, luxuriant muff. In his haste to get in her, one eager beginner lost both of his balls in the rough. There's a nice golf joke. Thank you all for joining me. Here's to your health, and I will see you again very soon. Godspeed. And God bless.